is Kim Shea with Aging Purposefully, and the purpose of these videos is to introduce you to people I think are aging in a styling that's inspiring, and I hope they'll give you some ideas about how you can age better and enjoy your own ride. And today I'm joined by Fred Farmer of Fond Reflections Video, and this is really a pretty logo, pretty website, and I will put Fred's information, his contact information, at the bottom of the video and at the end of this video so that you can reach out to him if you'd like to at some point. And so Fred, you make videos that are basically a life history of somebody in their own words, their own pictures, their own video footage, to really keep their story intact.
I interview primarily seniors. I've actually done a young lady in her 30s, but what I do is I walk them through their life and try to touch on each era of their life. Stories of their ancestors, and then just going on through their grandparents, parents, them growing up on the farm or in the old neighborhood, some of their childhood memories, and how mom and dad met, and how that all built their family.
How they got together.
And then we go into maybe their, if one of them has been in the military, we'll go through some of those years, maybe the careers they've held, the travel adventures, and that type of thing. They know that I'm not going to try to sabotage them or make them look foolish on camera, and we just make sure that it's free flowing, and I'll set up some lights, and I usually have two cameras, got a little lavalier mic for good quality sound, and so they're a little stressed and stiff in the beginning and not too talkative, but then as they get into their stories of their lives, they start reliving some of these memories, and they forget all about anything that's going on other than what they're talking about.
Nice. And you said that you enjoy making people cry. Can you explain that?
Yes. As I had mentioned about them becoming very relaxed, they start getting into their lives so deeply that I try not, in my questions, I try not to get too personal. They normally take it a lot more deeper than I intend to take them, but I let them go however deep they want to go, and oftentimes they will talk about some loved one that they cherished and they missed, and the relationship they had with them, or something that maybe even something that might not have been so positive, but did have an effect on their lives, and so that's what I'm saying, is that they actually get into these stories and are reliving them. I remember one particular family that everybody in the room was crying, and so I mean, it was really heartwarming. Even though everyone was crying, it felt really good to have that happen. These become somewhat of a legacy gift for their families.
I could see that, and I think that there definitely is a talent there, because you have really thought everything out, and it sounds like you've been doing this for many, many decades, where you've really fine-tuned this. But how long have you been doing it?
Well, the very first one I did was of my own mother when my first son was born. But I didn't really start this. I've been working in the corporate world most all of my life, and it wasn't until about 8 years ago I was able to leave my last corporate job and do something a little bit more fun with the rest of my life. And that was probably about 8 years ago. So I've been doing this as a service for other people about 8 years.
I asked you if you would share with me some of your favorite stories, and you talked about the World War II pilot. Would you mind sharing that, because that was really neat?
Absolutely. He was actually one of my first interviews, and he was quite a character. He was a 91-year-old Navy pilot, and he flew in World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam, all three. And I had asked him at one point during the interview, what type of aircraft did you fly? There was like 25 different aircraft.
Wow.
So I took that home, and I found an image of the very first aircraft that he flew. I put that on the left side of the screen. I found the the latest jet that they flew in Vietnam, and I put that on the right side of the screen, and then I scrolled all the models of the nomenclature of the various models of aircraft, and I scrolled that going in the middle of that, and then I found that I don't remember the name of the song. It's like a Navy Air Force song, and I put that music behind it, that as he got to watch all these scroll through. I asked him, well, how far away did you contact someone using your ham radio? And there again, he just beamed, and he said that he was the first ham radio operator to contact an astronaut as they flew over the Space Shuttle Columbia.
That's crazy.
And I thought, wow, that's incredible. As luck would have it, the astronaut had his own website, and because he was the first astronaut to use a ham frequency in the shuttle, he had uploaded that first transmission, which was the transmission that this guy had listened to. So I put that audio under him sitting in front of his equipment, so it appears more or less like he's listening to that transmission as he's sitting there. And so he almost fell out of his chair when he saw that, because I didn't tell him about that project.
Yeah.
So
it gives me chills. That story gives me chills. You're an artist. I mean, you're recording history, and that's really great. But what you bring to it is that you're an artist, and you're making these things so beautiful and so personal.
It's just a lot of fun. I mean, the people walking the street right now, you can't. I mean, you and I have our own special stories that either one of us would probably love to listen to.
Yeah.
You know? So, they don't have to be stories of contacting an astronaut. They can be those special stories that the families and maybe these stories are stories that they've heard 100 times, but once the senior's gone, there's no more chance of them being able to hear that story directly from their mother, father, grandparent. So as I say, you get the look, the voice, the mannerisms, and all your stories by doing this.
You wrote down that when an old person dies, a library is lost.
Correct.
And it is. It's the whole reference section. It's the children's stories. It's the adult stories. They're all gone.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you capture it.
Yeah.
Is this something that you think somebody could do for their own loved ones or their own friends?
I tell people all the time that you can have me do it, have someone else do it yourself. Just do something, because all these stories are disappearing. So, and if you want to do it yourself, there's a website called StoryCorps, StoryCorps.org, and if you go there and put in questions, and they have quite a few questions that basic questions that you can ask your family member, and it covers quite a bit of a person's life.
Okay, I will put that on the website for you so that you can find that. I'll put it below the video so that you can find it as well. So because that might be a helpful tool for you. So what's interesting is that you're doing this for other people, but you're also benefiting yourself from doing this, because you're meeting so many people. You're giving of yourself. You're getting something in return from it. You're keeping your mind active. It's really a great way for you too to stay healthy and mentally healthy.
They're emotionally rewarding for me, and it helps the family. As I said, this becomes more or less a legacy gift for the family and for generations to come. They get these folks' grandkids are going to know more of the basics about their ancestry than they may have otherwise.
Well, thank you for joining us,
Thank
Fred.
you.
I really
Thank you
appreciate
very much.
it.
I appreciate this
is
opportunity.
Really inspiring. And if you're thinking of something that you could do to make a difference, and you want to maybe find a hobby or maybe even a different job that you could do after you retire, this might be something you can look into. So I'll have all the information for you below the video and on my website, agingpurposefully.com. And Fred, thank you so much for coming
Thank you, Kim.
to
I
join us
appreciate it.
today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
And good luck out there.
Definitely.